Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys to week 13, which is April 3rd through the 9th. You can see that we're studying the preterite tense, so you need to study pages 222 to 224 and pages 234 to 236. After completing this week's assignments, you should be able to report past events and activities. All of this week's assignments are due by the end of the day, April the 6th, 2017, and this week's assignments address student learning outcomes 1 and 2, which you can find in your syllabus. You start off just like every week before watching your instructor videos. And after having watched them, so you can open them up, they're going to be verbs that go over irregular verbs in the preterite. So you've got 2 videos to watch. And then after you've watched those videos, go back out to the site, click on the class participation forum, and then open up class participation, hit reply, and post any questions or concerns you have about the material covered in the videos right here. And then go back out to our site or our main page. Okay. This week, in addition to the class participation, you also have a test on Chapter 6, and you have Assignment 15, which is completing SAM activities 7, 9, 10, 19, 35, 37, and 43. So let's go out to my language labs. And we're going to click on the 6th. And you see some tutorials and extra practice pop up, and if you look out here, you'll notice that none of those are assigned, so that's extra practice. That's just what it is. It will not go into your grade in Moodle. It won't go towards your grade in Moodle, which is your final grade for the class. It's just if you need some extra explanation about some of these irregular preterites and some extra practice, that it's available to you. But you do see the SAM activities listed here, so you want to make sure you open up each one of those and complete it. And then you also have test 4 on chapter 6. So we're going to open up test 4 and go over it as well. You only have one attempt, so don't open it until you're ready. Okay. In the first section, it says los hábitos de comer. Listen to the eating habits of Manuel y Aldo and decide whether each statement is cierto or falso. And if the information is not given, select no se menciona. So you just click this little button right here.
Manuel es un hombre muy ocupado.
And listen to the whole thing, and then read these questions, and then click cierto, falso, or no se menciona. Then go on to the next page. Here you're going to label each of the following pictures. Be sure to include the appropriate definite article. If you don't put el, la, los, or las in front of each of your responses, it's going to be counted wrong. And remember that steak does not need to be made plural, or bread, or cheese. So you don't need to say cheeses, steaks, or bread. Just say bread, cheese, and steak. And then apples, and this can be either coffee or the coffee maker. Here, match each definition with the correct word. So you're given a definition, and over here you have the vocabulary word. So you would just click the vocabulary word that is described by that definition. And go to the next page. Choose the correct form of either dar or decir to complete each of the sentences. So just read the sentences, decide whether you need dar or decir. You're given 2 spellings of each verb, so decide between dar and decir, and then decide which spelling correctly matches the subject of your verb. Remember that nos would not be a subject, that's an indirect object. That is either for whom something is being given or to whom something is being told. So don't conjugate for the nos and the lays and the mays, etc. Here, choose the answer that best completes each sentence. Here you're plugging in the correct indirect object pronoun. And so you're going to want to probably look for your prepositional phrase. That signals what indirect object pronoun should go here. So a lot of times you're looking for the for the phrase that starts with Que les gusta? Complete each of the following sentences by selecting the most logical verb. So here you're seeing verbs, you're seeing gustar and verbs like gustar, and then you're picking the one that best completes the sentence based on what it means and how it's also conjugated. Remember that for most of these verbs, you're either going to use the el elia form or the elios elias form, and so you're deciding, for example, so you're deciding, what pleases you, what fascinates you, what bores you, what bothers you, and then you're conjugating for that. If the thing that bothers you is one thing, you would use the el alias form. If it's multiple things, you're going to use the Elios alias form. Then go to the next page. Here you're going to choose between the two verbs in parentheses, and then you're going to conjugate them into the verb you chose into the preterite form. Don't forget that we do have some irregularities in the yo form for GAR, CAR, and ZAR verbs, so make sure you study that before you get started. And then you turn the page, and here are these irregulars. The CAR, GAR, and ZAR verbs are all only irregular in the yo form. So for each of these, you're going to pick the word that best completes the sentence and then conjugate it correctly. And I think all of these are conjugated into the yo form, so make sure that you're doing the correct spelling change, irregular spelling change for each of these verbs that you use. Then go to the last page. Complete the following sentences by choosing the appropriate verb. So this is just preterite again. You're given the choices. You just pick the one that best completes the sentence, and that's all you have to do.